Before we start, I want to say that I'm making this video to express my thoughts and rant my opinions on the matter. This is not a documentary and I am not going into full detail about the situation. If that's what you came here for, then this is not the right video for you. You should just read the card instead. Link is in the description. A lot of people have been asking me to do this video, but I didn't want to at first since I didn't trust the source and the information in it. However, once I was done reading it and being convinced more that I should do it, I came to realize that most of the stuff in the card aren't new information. This has always been the case and treatment towards their artists. I don't know why it suddenly got a new wave of attention. Someone told me it might have to do with someone getting demoted in front of everyone and that it brought more awareness to the card. Whatever the case is, I think it's deserved to be seen by more of the community. It goes over all the bad stuff about creatures of Sonaria, some of them being a bit too heavy of subjects to be talked by a YouTuber that makes fun of a pixel game. I will say, for legal issues and whatnot, I cannot confirm anything being said in the card. All I can say is they are all nothing but allegations that could also be false. With that aside, I want to talk about the non-existent pay their artists receive. I'll talk more about other stuff in other videos, so stay tuned. Creatures of Sonaria get their concept arts and designs from their community, hiring mostly young artists with the idea of them volunteering for their favorite game. Allegedly, those artists do get paid and the pay seems to be much less than what they'd expect for their hard work. The people who wrote the card did write some sort of estimation on how much they get paid, but I'm only going to take it with a pinch of salt. One could argue that it's not Creatures of Sonaria's fault that the artists came with their own high expectations when the game only wanted them as volunteers. One could also argue that this is like a pitcher plant trap. Young and impressionable artists are being shown that their work can be on display for all the community to see, to be praised and to be acknowledged with the promise of some quick cash, allegedly. Of course, who could miss out on that opportunity, which also has its own perks aside from the attention and a little bit of money? However, one could again argue the fact that unlike the poor unfortunate flies that fell for the pitcher plant's nectar, these artists are very much allowed and able to leave whenever they want. Continuing to stay in this supposedly toxic work environment and complain behind its back anonymously is very cowardly and disrespectful. Let me set the table straight for anyone who wants to really believe that Sonaria is a bad place. You're allegedly not cared for and can easily be replaced. Your words aren't final and your complaints will fall on deaf ears. Your species you sell off for this very little amount of cash will be used to generate them a fortune. They also allegedly intimidate you guys and act unprofessionally. You're forced to work in thin deadlines and limited resources. You're going to have issues and problems with the higher-ups if you don't see eye to eye. You can submit hours and hours of work to not ever be picked. Your value will also be as easily dismissable as the next one, no matter how long you've been here. With all of that information, do you still really want to remain? If you do, why? I know a few that stay behind to look after and improve the experience of future artists that might join Creatures of Sonaria, but what about most of you? Is it the fame, the attention, the sweet little compliments about how amazing your species are, the exclusive species you get that allow you to have a major boost in the game? What is it? Don't give me bad excuses and lies, just be honest if it's any of the reasons I mentioned. Even though Sonaria is alleged to be this shady company with very questionable work ethics, I also don't have respects for the artists. You can tell me how nice and how wonderful people they are, but they aren't to me. My experience with them is not one I much care for. I don't think they are these high and mighty good guys they make themselves to be. I don't think they are these sad and tiny victims they want to be seen as. I know most of them just have their own motives in remaining at this allegedly terrible workspace. While hiding behind the hero complex and self-entitlement of wanting more than they already knew they wouldn't get. Stop pushing a brick wall, you won't toss it over. Sonaria has their own practices and if we don't like it we don't support them. You being there is supporting them and you continuing to work for them contradicts your complaints against them. Stop hiding behind your little blankets and actually come out from your unknown statuses. If you really want change, then retire from your roles in mass amounts. Arguing and making documents obviously aren't the answer. What are you waiting for then? I know most of you are minors and are scared, but I promise you they can't do anything if you leave in a civil manner. You don't have binding contracts and they can't just do whatever they want to you. You aren't trapped and you have the thinking capacity to know that this isn't right. Leave and start again somewhere else. That's all I have to say for now.